What is up guys, Rekus here with a new video, and today we want to have a look at the new abilities from the Tree of Roots for the Transcendence heroes. No, that was a misclick, not in Sealand. We're gonna have a look at them in the hero gallery. They actually added that to here, which is quite nice. And the first hero I want to have a look at with you is Jahr. Jahr, our strongest CC hero. Thought she might be worth a look. We will look over all of them anyway. I will make a video on each of the new heroes and their Tree of Roots upgrades. We'll release them one after the other in the next days, weeks. We have quite a lot of Transcendence heroes actually, and the new mechanics are definitely worth a look. You can find them here in the Tree of Origin. Let's go in there and check out the abilities. So the way this works is actually you have your 4 skills that you find on the hero card, your active, basic and passive skills right here. Each is associated to a tree branch that has other abilities that you can unlock that add to either that ability or some of the other abilities or all abilities, depending on what the bonus actually grants. Those little fruits here are that. And you have the Core of Origin, which is extra similar to an artifact kind of thing that you can equip on the Tree of Origin. And those cores are actually farmable in the campaign, and you can have one of those active in your team at a time. So if you have like 5 Transcendence heroes, you can't have 5 of those things active at the same time, but you can choose one and can have this active, for example. And we will have a look if it's worth to upgrade Jahr. Well, in the end, all of them are, of course, because those abilities are very strong. But how strong, that is the question, and we want to check this out. So, first of all, let's have a look at the first ability you unlock. That's actually the active skill. You unlock this at level 40. So rather early on, still waiting to unlock my buffed active skill on my Fairy Queen Vesa. Let's compare the two skills. First of all, we have roughly about 20% more stats on all the abilities. So like they upped about all numeric values by about 20%. Some a bit less, some a bit more, but roughly in that ballpark. The first thing, oh, I clicked it away. The first thing is the deal 2400% of attack. That was 2000 before, so as I said, 20% buff roughly. That's quite nice, though nothing that will change a whole lot. More damage, of course, always being good. What is way better though is that they upped the chance to CC. We actually have 35% now, and this was 30% at V4. So way better CC at this point will make it easier to CC the enemy. And same goes for Cold Chill, which was also upgraded from 30 to 35%. So also a pretty good update at that. Which will help us definitely a lot. One of the minor things, I never actually realized Jahr was healing before I did Tower, and the healing became an issue at that then. But yeah, when releasing the active skill, she actually heals for a percent of the max HP for every overspilled energy she has. So this was 0.4%, it's now 0.5%, so 25% buff is quite nice. Maybe a bit bigger heal will help, but nothing too impressive, to be honest. Then we have the effect when the energy is greater than 150, is still 150, and we get the buffed CC values of 35% instead of 30% here as well. So all in all, this ability does a bit more damage and has a way bigger chance to CC the enemy, which is exactly what we are looking for, so quite great. Now let's check out the associated fruits. This one is super interesting. it says the triggering condition of Petrify Rock Lock is now enemies with no less than 40% HP, and the triggering condition of Freeze Cold Chill is enemy with no more than 60% HP. So let's compare this to the way it is usually in the skill. Usually this works, there is a 35% chance to Petrify Rock Lock to enemies whose current HP are no less than 50%, and for Freeze Cold Chill this is not higher than 50%. So above 50% HP on the enemy you inflict Petrify Rock Lock, and below that you inflict Freeze Cold Chill. With this fruit, there is actually the point between 60 and 40% HP where you can inflict either one. And we really have to see how that works out. I assume between those values, Jahr will randomly choose one of these CCs and will not inflict both. If she would inflict both, that would be very OP. But having the possibility alone to inflict both is quite nice. And there is a value to that, to this specific effect, that there are different trigger values, because there is a way to have Jahr inflict CC 2 times in one turn and not only a single time. And this is in her later skills, and I will come back to this note, so keep that in mind at a later point in the video. So increase its control precision by 15%, very nice. Basically this heightens this 35% chance with a multiplier of 1.15. So we're at roughly 40% or something there with this node, so quite good. Extra CC chance, control precision always helps. It's also on Rui's Scepter, we can get it as B Awakening tier stat, B or higher. So always something you're looking for. We always want CI precision and control precision and CI offset. So good to get it here. The next one is also very interesting. Those big impactful nodes, quite nice. If self energy is greater than or equal to 200 when releasing the active skill, inflicts the same control effects one more time to all uncontrolled enemies. So we had the possibility to get extra CC when we reached 150 energy, but now you will have an additional effect at 200 energy. So if you really want to make sure the enemy is CC'd, you can feed Jahr even more energy to get her over 200 energy, and you will get an additional chance to CC uncontrolled enemies. So even more CC. Jahr at that point, if you have all of this stuff, is absolutely gonna be a beast. There's basically no chance left that when you get a 200 energy active with this Starring Jahr that anything is not CC'd. So that will be super great for PvE. Getting a super fast Starving Jahr with enough energy that will absolutely destroy opponents. So quite great, quite a strong stat as well. So with that, let's go and check out the next ability, Astral Touch, her passive skill. That one isn't too impressive, so we will go through that rather fast. 1200% of attack is 20% upgrade, was 1000 before. We will deal extra damage by 45% instead of 40%. The damage cap remained the same, so it's likely that this 45% buff won't have any effect, because I imagine we hit the 1500% of Starving Jahr's attack with the damage quite often before, especially against strong heroes that have a lot of homeowner buffs or in PvE. After that deals 1200% instead of 1000% damage to the enemy with the highest attacks, and that next part was quite disappointing. We still steal only 35% of attack from the target. Would have been much more impactful if the attack speed got higher than the damage. Those damage buffs are, if we have those or not, doesn't really matter. Would have mattered much more to get more attack. So let's look at the small nodes. Those are actually better. Not this one though. Basic attack, and we have the option to reduce the effect of being healed for 2 rounds and reduce damage dealt of one hero by 10%. Yeah, that's absolutely crap, this one. You will likely never notice this, so not much to say. That one is on the other hand really nice. Steals attack from target for 3 rounds instead of 2 rounds. So we can get more active and more damage from starving Jahr. This will be quite great. This will really be quite great. If you go for a super fast Jahr and she doesn't active on turn 1, you will have it still on turn 2 and on turn 3. So 2 actives you can get off with the buffed attack from the basic. Getting this will be really good, so definitely keep that one in mind. And the last one increases its precision by 40%, not control precision, just regular precision. As well, it's nice, it's okay, extra precision for the basic, but it won't have that much of an impact. Will make it less likely to be blocked, and maybe you won't get that many panda buffs on the enemy, or it won't get countered by LOEs, but not much more that you will notice here. The next ability is actually called Void Infusion, and this one is nice. This one is really a nice buff again, 2 parts in it. We get 25 energy instead of 20 energy, so she will be much easier to energy feed. If you think about it, getting 25 energy will already have a huge impact and will make much easier to get the 200 energy for the Noble Sublimation skill here. This wasn't the one we were at. Where were we? I lost it. Oh, yeah, we were looking at the Void Infusion. I was a bit confused there, sorry. And the next part, other than the 25 energy, they actually buffed the effect of the focus skill effect. We had 8% control precision per layer, and 4% control immunity offset, and now it's 10% control precision and 5% control immunity offset. So we will get way more CC even from those focus layers, and this pairs very nice with the, this ability. When a battle starts, grants self 2 layers of focus, so as soon as the battle starts you will have 2 layers and already a buff of 20% control precision and 10% control immunity offset, which is nearly a built-in receptor for her, just through this ability. So you will get a lot of CC. At this point, with all those buffs, in my opinion, you could even consider not running receptor on her and going for an A and B, for example, to get a little bit more survivability on her, because you have control immunity and control precision from so many sources. Has to be seen though if that's a good idea. If you run her with the core, you will likely want the receptor. The last one, 20% chance to obtain 1 extra layer of focus, so will make it that we get on average 1.2 layers of focus per ally releasing an attack, so even more CC for us. So quite nice. And this one, yeah, 8% HP, 6% attack, okay, we take it. Not that impressive. On the other hand, not bad to have. Last ability, Apocalypse Vision. When enemy is frozen, with 1200% of attack damage, it was 1000, so again 20% buff. And we restore self HP equal to 300% of attack now. Was 250%, so also 20% buff, and same for this, 1200% was 1000%. Yeah, the nicest part about this is probably the last part. We restore self energy every time an enemy is petrified. This was 15, is now 18, so we actually get substantial energy recovery from this. But it doesn't, the most parts, this ability is not much different than before. Still a nice buff, 20% more effective, so can definitely do this. Let's have a look at this. There are some weird ability buffs in this part. Whenever an enemy is petrified, we additionally poison all petrified enemies, dealing 300% of attack damage. Yeah, I mean, it's alright, but it won't be that dangerous. The nicest part about this is that we actually get poison synergy, so if we want to run Snake Pet, we can with this. And the same goes for this. Whenever an enemy is frozen, we additionally bleed them. We can also go for Wolf synergy if we wanted. But other than that, we get some extra damage, so this is nice. Though I don't see a dot of 300% of attack damage as very impactful. It's not very big. We have other dots for like 1200% of attack damage, and you don't even notice those. So yeah, I have to see, but I don't think so. And we have another node that gives plus 8% HP and 6% attack, so also quite a bit of stat boost inside there. So that was it for the skills. If at that point you ask yourself how you can unlock those skills, I will make a video on this later in this week, as soon as I unlock level 40 on my main FQ Fairy Queen Vesa. So I can show you guys how to do it actually, and we will talk about it in detail. The last part is the Core of Origin, and this one is actually quite interesting. When an ally releases active skills, there's a 25% chance to restore them 30 energy, a 30% chance to restore extra 30 energy, and a 15% chance to inflict Petrify Rocklock on one random enemy for 2 rounds. And then we have the corresponding effect for the basic attacks. In the case of a basic attack, we restore the hero that attacks HP equal to 300% of Starving Jar's attack. Not a whole lot. I mean, like, best case you have like 6-7 million on her. Then it will be alright. If you don't run her as a homeowner, this won't be really worth it. And we have a 15% chance to inflict Freeze Cold Chill on one random enemy for 2 rounds. So, this is something I have pointed at before. We actually can double CC with Starving Jar. As a little bit close conditions, like if the enemy has Petrify Rocklock, we of course would need an ally to do a basic attack to inflict Freeze Cold Chill on the enemy. But that would make us possible to double CC. What they don't say here, if Freeze Cold Chill and Petrify Rocklock actually follow the rules that they usually have. We were talking about this before, that the triggering conditions here are like no less than 40% HP or no more than 60 HP. If this is also included here, remains to be tested. Still very interesting. The first part with the active skill actually makes it possible for you to get more energy on your heroes with less demon belts. I mean, the chance isn't too high. That will be a problem. You only have 25% chance for 30 energy and then a 30% chance for an extra 30 energy. I assume the second part only triggers if the first part triggered. So like it's basically 30% of 25% for the second ability to trigger. I would assume. We have to test it. Can't know yet. So the chances for the energy feed are actually quite small. Still nice to get it. What is more impactful is the chance to CC enemies on the attack of an ally. So even in PvE that can be quite impactful, like you have a slower Jara but you have 4 or 5 enemies attacking in front. In best case scenario you could already have 4 or 5 enemies CC'd before Starving Jara even attacks, and if you get a 200 energy active you would definitely CC the rest of the heroes. So can be quite strong, but I've actually seen stronger cores, I have to say. So all in all, to conclude this, the hero is super strong. We get a bunch of extra CC from this. All of those buffs aim to make it easier for you to CC whole enemy crowds, to CC in PvE, to really be the best CC hero in the game. The core, on the other hand, is not one of the stronger ones. It would need higher percent chances for the effects to actually trigger. If the heroes do basic attacks, it would be okay, but then again, you mostly run Starving Jara in an energy feed team. The heroes there won't do that many basic attacks, so it's mostly the first part you're looking at. And with such low chances, you can't rely on it. You can't take like demon bats out of your team and hope, okay, the core will fix it. The core will likely not fix it, even though that would be great. So I I wouldn't necessarily go for this hero first. Would recommend going for damage dealer, but later on, if you want a good CC hero, or it's the best CC hero, let's not diminish her strength, then you can go for Starwing Jahr and be happy with all those great CC skills like the 200 energy one, or extra attack skill, or and the extra laser focus, which will really help you succeed in PvE, and will likely be a key hero at that for the later stages of Void campaign. So guys, with that I want to finish the video, 20-minute video again, but a lot to talk about. Keep in touch for my video on how to progress the Tree of Origin and the other heroes, about our 8 other Transcendence heroes, which will likely hit in the next days and weeks. With that, I wish you guys a lot of fun in the new event and the upcoming anniversary event as well, and we will see us in the next video.